Hey, welcome to 4.1, Step 1, Finding a Book I Will Like. This lesson has this objective. Students will be able to find a book they'll want to read. How does that sound? Exciting to me. There is a book out there for everyone. I really do believe that. If you don't like reading, you haven't found that book yet. So we're going to help you look for it and find it. How will you know you're going to like a book? Oh, how will I know? Well, there are a lot of ways to help you find a good book, a book that you will like. So let's start exploring them. The first is your lexile level. Oh, let me back up a second. Before that, just know that for this unit, you do need to choose your own book. All right. The book has to be at least 150 pages, and it needs to be at your lexile level. And we want it to sound interesting to you. We want it to be something that you want to read. All right, let's talk lexile first. What is it and how do you find out what your lexile level is? Well, lexile is a measure of two things, reading ability level and text difficulty. And so you have a lexile level and each book has a lexile score. So let me explain to you how you find out what they are. First of all, it came from originally the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development because we understand in education how important it is to read. And so the government said, hey, how can we get more kids to read? How can we get kids to enjoy reading? And what they found out was that kids like to read when they have a book that's at their level. And what does that mean? Well, that it has a similar lexile to you. It's not an exact science, but it's a good indicator of ability and difficulty. And so that's why we do things like take the Fast Bridge reading test, because it shows your lexile level. And then you can find out what the lexile level is of a book to make sure that you are reading a book that you will enjoy because it's at the right level. It's not too easy. It's not too hard. It's the Goldilocks rule. It's just right. So this is not a score. So it's not as if, you're taking a test to achieve a score, but rather it shows the level that you are. Your current lexile was determined when you took the Fast Bridge test this year. You took it in the fall and in the winter. If you missed one of those two tests, that's okay. We've got a score for one of the two. Teachers have this score, so ask your teacher for your lexile score and write it in your packet so that you know your lexile. Did I call it a score? Excuse me, level. Then you'll know your lexile level so you can find a book that's a good fit for you. Here's a little more about lexile levels. If you're in the 10th grade, this is where you want to be about. If you're not at this spot, guess what you can do to get higher? Read more. So find something at your level, whatever it might be, and read it and read it and read it some more. That is the only way to improve your lexile level. How do you know what a book's lexile is? Good question. Well, a book's level is determined by this organization, Metametrics, who developed the lexile framework, and they predict and assess how difficult a text will be for a reader based on two important things: word frequency, vocabulary, how difficult is the vocabulary in the book, and then also sentence strength. So how long are the sentences? How complex are the sentences? Those are the two things that they look at when analyzing a book's lexile using all kinds of computer stuff and algorithms and whatnot. So if you want to know what the lexile of a book is, if you already have a title in mind of something you want to read, all you have to do is go to lexile.com to determine the lexile of that particular book. You can type in the title and it'll tell you the lexile. Again, it's not a perfect science, but it's a helpful way to start thinking about finding a book that you want to read. Lexiles are often also included in, I forgot to finish my bullet point, but they're included in the notes written on the book cover. It's actually on the back of a book. For books that we have here in the classroom. So like for this one, you can see it has the lexile right on it, 800 lexile. So you can look at that. They're also often included in places like Amazon.com or Goodreads, or also in our Media Center page. You can find lexiles there. When you go to lexile.com, if you already have the title of a book, you're going to navigate here to under Lexile Tools to find a book. And then a screen will pop up that looks like this, and you just type in the title of the book and click search, and it'll tell you the score for that particular book. All right, well, what rules are there for picking a book based on Lexile for this unit? I want you to find a book within 100 points of your Lexile level, unless you're over 1,000. And if you're over 1,000, then you will need to either find a book that's over 1,000, which sometimes is difficult. The other thing is if it's over 250 pages, then you can read a different Lexile than over 1,000. It can be under 1,000. All right, so those are the rules for picking your book based on Lexile for this unit. Look at the back of the book for the Lexile, or look it up on lexile.com. How will you find a book that you will like? Maybe by genre. We're moving on to number 4. What are some main genres of books, and how will this help me pick a book? Genre is the type or category of a book. And maybe you know already what kind of books you like. Maybe you like funny books, action books, drama, sci-fi. We've labeled a lot of the books in the classroom library according to these genres here. So look for those on the back of the book and use them also as you do some researching online. What other characteristics might help you pick a book you'll like? Well, author. Who wrote the last book that you liked? Chances are you're going to like something else by that author. Feel free to look up books by that author. Or maybe you'll like similar books that are suggested on programs or websites like Goodreads or Amazon. Have you been to Goodreads? Check it out. I suggested that you do this at the beginning of the year. If you haven't yet, go there now and start digging around. It's tons of fun. Maybe you like reading digitally. Well, we have ebooks through our chs.ardell.org. Our school website, you have to go to Media Center and then click on Mac and Via to look at the various ebooks. Maybe you like audiobooks. There are 2 really good sites to get free audiobooks. ESL Bits is one, and Blueford is another. But make sure, once again, that you're reading at the right Lexile level. So take your time in choosing it. Look at the author, genre, Lexile, and length, and make sure you read the book for a little while before you make your choice. Finally, be honest with yourself. Have fun as you pick your book.